part 2 of Football Talk Central. This is a continuation of the Wednesday, February 20th edition. Even though I'm filming on Thursday morning, early morning, it's about 4 a.m. Eastern Time. So I'd like to give a special shout out to the Lipton family. That old man with the mustache, you do wonders with your caffeinated drinks. Thank you very much. Anyways, first of all, I'd like to apologize in advance for the shoddy lighting in this room. It seems like I'm just a mere shadowy figure filming in the darkness, doesn't it? That was kind of weird. The NFL Scouting Combine has officially begun in Indianapolis, Indiana. The workouts begin on Saturday the 23rd, but the event itself started on Wednesday the 20th. Now, the days coming up to Saturday's workouts consist of registrations, psychological, and medical evaluations. Athletes attend by invitation only. Implication of one's performance during the combine can affect perception, draft status, salary, and ultimately his or her career. Now, if your cable company sucks and doesn't carry the NFL network, like mine, Cablevision, yeah, I'm talking about you, you'll miss out on their 24-hour coverage of the event. But since the NFL realizes a lot of fans don't get the channel, they're going to have live video feed of their own on NFL.com. Now, some players that can up their draft stock include quarterback Andre Woodson out of Kentucky. Now, this guy was once touted as a sure first-round pick. His stock dropped after a disappointing Senior Bowl. Quarterback Colt Brennan. Now, there are many problems that scare NFL teams away from this guy. He comes from a run-and-shoot Hawaii offense, one that doesn't transition well into the NFL. Don't believe me? Ask Timmy Chang. Now, former Eagles coach Buddy Ryan mocked the offense by dubbing it the Chuck and Duck. Other Brennan negatives include his small frame and low release. Some other lesser-known quarterbacks that could make a statement in this event include Joe Flacco, a 6'6", strong-arm quarterback out of Delaware. Now, if this kid plays his cards right this weekend, he can move as high as a late first-round or early second-round pick. Then there's also Josh Johnson. He comes from the University of Wales Vagina, or San Diego in Spanish. He's a mobile and extremely accurate quarterback. The guy completed 68.4% of his passes and only threw one interception. He went on to become the East-West Shrine Bowl MVP. Now, some running backs that can shake up the rankings include Rashad Mendenhall, Ray Rice, Felix Jones, Jamal Charles, Kevin Smith, Mike Hart, Steve Slayton, and Tony Temple. So look out for those guys to either hurt or help their draft position. Now it's time to go back when a lot of these players were just graduating high school. A time when they were trying to determine what college to play at. A time when they were known by fans only by the number of stars next to their name. Let's take a look back to see where the 5-star prospects of the year 2004 are now. Which of these players are or will be making an impact in the NFL? Who will be battling for the Grey Cup or Arena Bowl trophy? And who is tying Christmas trees to the top of your car at Home Depot? Now let's start with the number 1 prospect of that year, offensive lineman Jeff Byers of USC. He had an excellent freshman year but fell victim to injuries the following 2 seasons. He is a bust. At number 2, linebacker Willie Williams of Miami. As Rich Sermonillo put it, the kid is a 5-star athlete with a 10-cent head. After being kicked off the Hurricane squad for disciplinary reasons, he tried getting back into football playing for the West LA Community College team. He was then kicked off of that team after he was arrested for possession of marijuana, felony tempering, and driving without a license. He is a certified bust. At number 3, Adrian Peterson, formerly of Oklahoma, now playing for the Minnesota Vikings. In his first season in the NFL, he set a single-game rushing record, running for 296 yards, and also winning Offensive Rookie of the Year and Pro Bowl MVP honors. At number 4, Ted Ginn Jr. of Ohio State. Ginn was considered to be the second most dangerous player with the ball behind Reggie Bush in college. After switching from cornerback to wide receiver, he had a successful stint with the Buckeyes before getting drafted 9th overall to the Miami Dolphins. At number 5, defensive end Brandon Miller out of Georgia. He was unable to find his place in the defense, plus was riddled with injuries. He finished his career with a disappointing 108 tackles and 1 sack. He is a bust. At number 6, a guy who people say was the best to ever play for Penn State. That's linebacker Dan Connor. An All-American the last 2 seasons, he won the Bednarik Award given to the nation's best defensive player. and became the Nittany Lions all-time leading tackle, which says something about the guy because Penn State was home to Paul Posluszny and LeVar Arrington. He's expected to be an early first-round pick in the upcoming NFL draft. At lucky number 7, a guy who had an unlucky collegiate career, that's Rhett Bomer of Oklahoma. After earning MVP honors at the Holiday Bowl as a freshman in 2005, he was dismissed from the team for accepting money from the owner of Big Red's car dealership, a school donor. He currently plays for Sam Houston State, trying to make somewhat of a name for himself. At number 8, a fairly well defensive end that played for Georgia named Charles Johnson. He had one big year with the Dogs, finishing with a team-high 19 tackles for losses, 9.5 sacks, and 27 pressures for losses. He was picked in the 3rd round by the Carolina Panthers, but was riddled with injuries his first year in the NFL. Our first wide receiver on the board at number 9, LSU's Early Doucette. He was buried in the depth chart his first 3 years behind the likes of Dwayne Bowe and Craig Davis, but took off last season. He is one of the top wideouts in this upcoming draft. Another quarterback at number 10, Florida State Seminole, Xavier Lee. For the amount of hype he received as one of the top high school players in the country, he turned out to be a sizable bust. He put up modest numbers here or there, but nothing to go crazy about. Fred Davis of USC ranked in at 11. He won the Mackey Award in 2007 and is considered to be the most prolific tight end in USC's history. At number 12, another Trojan, that is linebacker Keith Rivers. He's a 2-time All-Pac-10 honoree and is expected to be a first-rounder in the upcoming draft. A guy most draft experts dubbed the greatest wide receiver to ever come out of college comes in at number 14, and that is Calvin Johnson. Now, Johnson had an excellent collegiate career that could have been better if he had consistent quarterback play. He is currently playing for the Detroit Lions. At number 15, one of the fastest men to ever touch a collegiate football field, LSU wide receiver Xavier Carter. This guy will be all over newspapers worldwide in August of this year. Not because of football, however. This guy was so fast he quit the sport in 2006 to focus on his track career. He is currently preparing for his run in the Beijing Olympics. At number 18, Derek Harvey. He won the MVP during the national championship game against Ohio State with the Gators. At number 21, the man people are predicting to go first overall, defensive tackle Glenn Dorsey of LSU. He was the first player in NCAA history to win the Lombardi, Nagurski, Lott, and Outland awards. At number 23, Arizona tight end Zach Miller. After a successful college career, he was drafted by the Oakland Raiders. Running back Charles Jones of Miami comes in at number 24. Jones was never able to establish himself as an every-down back and has never enjoyed a 100-yard game. He is a bust. At number 27, Michigan quarterback Chad Henne. Despite a few injuries, he was pretty solid playing as a starter all 4 years with the Wolverines. At number 29, Eric McClendon, a defensive tackle who signed with the Reedley College. He's a bust because he signed with the Reedley College, which eventually caused him to fall off the map. And finally, at number 30, safety Drew Kelson of Texas. This guy became a great special teams player, but that's about it. He is a bust. And there you have it. Before I go, I just want to suggest some great Audible candy to get your football fix. 2 free podcasts you can download off of iTunes that give great information. The first being a great fantasy and NFL news resource. It's called The Fantasy Football Guys, hosted by Lyle Kunkiel and Kevin Moore. You can visit them on the web at www.thefantasyfootballguys.com. And for another great podcast for general NFL news, check out NFL Rants and Raves, hosted by Steven Miranda and Jeff Ellis. Visit them at www.nflrnr.com. That's all I've got today. Thanks for watching. Good night.
Mr. Beer Melly, get these mutts away from me, I don't find this stuff amusing anymore. If you'll be my bodyguard,